Hey kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome everyone. We're going to get right into it. Roy's not with us today. He's at a user group meeting and presume he's having fun. I still have that screen flicker problem I've told you about. It's absolutely insane. It kind of starts once I start streaming, and I've said before I suspect it's related to maybe a combination of the Logi Capture app and OBS perhaps. Not really sure if I'm gonna, it's not too bad right now. I'm not sure if I'm gonna pause to actually try to fix that. Let's kind of get right into the code here. We'll take a look at where we are. The good news is the problem we left with yesterday, I figured out the workaround. I did not actually figure out the fix to it. The problem was that we were getting this weird value for one of our, here, let's bring this up here. We'll kind of give you some context on this. So let's see. Let me also, I'm going to come in here and I will kill my drone. Whoops. Where am I? I'm over there. I didn't mean to be there. Let's escape that. Come over here. Hey, Codebase Alpha, welcome. Why is it that, hold on. I thought we had control from the chat room. Why isn't Codebase Alpha going? I wonder if it is because, I think I know what's going on. Codebase Alpha, you're not playing because it's been fewer than 24 hours, less than 24 hours since we last played you. But since it makes me happy to see Codebase Alpha, I'm going to go in and do a little manual here on Codebase Alpha, get the day started. Whoa! Everything, my drone explodes at the same time. Codebase Alpha, so welcome. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just realized I was about to, I got some ice in my mouth and I was about to chew that up and I realized, oh, this mic is going to make that just crazy for everyone. So let's see here. We were over in spells yesterday and we were looking specifically at Melf's minute meteors. That's one of the first spells I started writing code for. Who's that pretending to be you on your tweet regarding dev intersection? Is the question. That's kind of me. But that picture, if you're talking about that picture is like a little crazy. That picture is like, hold on a second. I'm still got this distracting, hold on a second. I want to try. Yeah, I'm going to try, bear with me. I'm going to see if I can fix this here. I'm going to minimize everything, take everything down to the desktop here, start bringing stuff up one at a time here. And this is the weirdest thing, is it fixes this crazy flickering. The question about who is that, if you're talking about that picture is like an old picture here. Here we go, this one right here. That guy, and look at this head. It's like, it's giant. I don't even get that. I don't understand that thing right there. So that's, that may be what you're talking about, is who is that guy? I don't know, but I don't like that guy at all. That guy does not, I don't trust that guy. Doesn't look good. If you're going to dev intersection, by the way, I don't usually predict in advance that my sessions are going to be like good or bad or anything along those lines. They usually tend out to be pretty yeah. That's Codebase Alpha saying yeah on that guy. They usually turn out to be, definitely above average. They turn competently delivered, I would say. But every once in a while, I think this is about maybe the second or third time I've said, yeah, I think this is going to be good. I could be wrong, stuff can happen, and usually if a session's not good, it's because, something outside of the session is affecting me, for whatever reason, no sleep or some other kind of thing distracting. But Even in those cases, I think the sessions are pretty good. But I actually am predicting that the workshop here at Dev Intersections is going to be really good. Partially because I'm doing something I've never done before, which is I am taking a number of examples that I've collected through the years, and we're going to just throw them up, and we're going to, after we've learned the rules, we're going to go take a look at them, and we're going to kind of solve them. And I'm also encouraging people as well to bring their own examples and challenges and designs. Now, I normally do this anyway in the session, but this is the first time I've said, hey, bring your questions, bring your challenges, bring your mock-ups, the things that you're working on that you want, and basically it's going to be essentially a live, free consulting session in the workshop. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good. Certainly I'm psyched for it today, and you can use that discount code there if you haven't registered yet. So that's in Vegas. And I think my session is on the 17th of November. It's on a Sunday. So I've got a pre-conference tutorial workshop that's the full day, and then I have 3 other individual sessions there. So anyway, yeah, that's that guy. This conference is partially run by Richard Campbell, and Richard Campbell somehow, for some reason, likes to use this picture of me. I am also my fault. I haven't sent him anything more recent either. I don't think it's going to be videotaped or released. If you want a videotaped session, though, hold on. There was a great one I did, if you haven't seen it, at the .NET conference. Let's see if I can find a link to that. That session was really good. If you've got only 30 minutes and you want to, maximize your use of time, here it is right here. Hold on a second. Well, this is sorry, I'm not sure if this is going to be it or not. Let's see if they have a link to this. What happens if I click here? Is it going to take me? Nope. That's not it. Science of Great UI .NET Conference. I suppose I could search for it. Science of Great UI .NET Conference. Yeah, Michael Jolly says that conference, that talk was great. This one, I think, is it right here. And I'll put this in. Yeah, this is the one. This, out of all the talks I've ever done on this, I think had the highest concentration of valuable information per minute. I really, I like how this one turned out. It packed some of my favorite rules and guidelines into a very short sequence of time. So if you have like only a half hour, you'll watch this, you'll come out of this, it might change your life. It'll be like, you'll come out of this with a lot of information. Bookmarked. And greetings to Michael Jolly. For some reason, fanfares aren't working, and I think the reason is that we all had our fanfares fewer than 24 hours ago, and Legendary Moo had made some changes that said, hey, it's got to be at least a day between the fanfares. So Michael Jolly's, we're not seeing his, but guess what? I want to see his too, because I like that guy. There he is. Whoa, Michael, don't fly so low. You're getting a horrible accident, Michael. If you whoa, you're just getting too close. You're my personal space, Michael. I told you that's going to happen. Michael Jolly's excellent. If you guys are not following him and not checking out his show, you should watch it. This guy is, I don't know, is it too much to say this guy's a game changer out there with his daughters up there interviewing the heroines of JavaScript. The guy is amazing. I have so much respect for this guy. Go out and check him out as well. Jetsom's out there. This is very good info. Yeah, I think we're seeing no. Let's see if I can get music going here. By the way, can I get some music? All right, I can get some music. That's good. So we had this crazy problem yesterday. If you were with me, and I was just flummoxed. Rory was confused. We were getting one of these variables kept coming back evaluating as a 6 when it should have been a 0. And it made no sense at all. Afterwards, I looked at the code, I said, you know what, I think I need a break. I'm going to, whatever. Let me go out and see if I can find it. It's going to be down in the core in expressions, functions, one of these I left a note. Okay, there's one of the fixes, but that's the note's not there. Here we go. So before we were calling evaluator.evaluate, and we were passing in that value. An evaluator, this piece that's passed in, didn't have access to all the things that our expression static class had access to. So when we asked it to evaluate, like num melt meteors descend, it was like, I don't know. But for some bizarre reason, it was returning a 6, which I didn't investigate because I didn't have the code to step into. And I saw it happen again, and it was returning a 6 for another variable as well. And I was like, what? Made no sense. When I changed this line of code from here to this one right here, where I'm going back in and I'm saying, hey, expressions.get, when I call expressions.get, this comes into my static class here, which adds the player variables, does everything I need to do to take care of things for evaluation, and it even has my event handlers on here, so I can go call my custom property and functions, my properties and functions on there. So all of the stuff in the spreadsheet works. In my spreadsheet here, I even have custom properties and functions right here and here defined as well. All of that works when we go expressions.get, but it does not work, all of it does not work when we call the evaluator.evaluate. So I fixed that. Not allowed, well, we'll make that change later because we're running. I cleaned that up, and all of a sudden, everything worked like we were expecting it to work. I think we spent about, it feels like easily 40 minutes trying to understand that problem, and it was just one of those things. This sometimes happens with coding, right? You were like, the data you need to see isn't there, and you spend most of your time trying to collect the data, trying to get a picture of what's going on there. And that's what we did yesterday. But I think that my intuition was right, that I said I needed to spend time away from it and take a different look at it. And that's what happened. And this has happened a couple times on the show where I've said, wait, I need a break. I come back like within 10 minutes and I look at the code and I just say, let's twist the way we look at this. Let's look at it a different way. And I get something I can get some traction with and discover a workaround to the problem. So that's what we've got there. So now with that done, let's show you how it works. Mother of pearl. Mother of pearl, yeah. Mother of pearl. Yeah, it's like, I used to think when this happened after the show that, oh man, I really wish everybody was with me. But now I just kind of realize, you know what, it's just going to happen sometimes. It's just going to be like, sometimes I'm not going to worry about it. So let's go switch back over to the players. Oh, no. Guess what, Mother of Pearl? That was Will Bennett because he's lamenting the lack of his... Boom.
Will Bennett is in the house.
Nice. I'm so glad the other one didn't play because, when the other one plays, it's like there's a little bit of... Whoa! There's a little bit of... It gets hot in here. That's what I'm saying. As a child, his celestial parents let him doodle on a small orbital body around a blue-green planet. His work, Man in the Moon, is the first art of the primitive Earth people. Too large for any museum. Sounds like Will Bennett. Mother of Pearl, I want my fanfare, darn it. Feels like a bait and switch. Come for the drones, except when debugging. Come for the fanfares, except when Mark screws it up. Rory Becker CodeRushed is here. Y6. Did you just show up, Rory? Rory's out here remotely from his user group in the UK. Rory, say hi to everybody for us, buddy. Janiscu7 is with us. Holy cow, kids. Janiscu7 has got like an awesome Twitter banner. I just followed this guy. Check this out, man. Look at this guy. Boom. Janiscu 7, huge Star Wars fan, big fan of NVIDIA products. Oh. What? Oh no, I'm dry, I don't want to get wet. Come on, Copper Beardy. It's growing. So sweet. Copper Beardy gets one.
Beardy is in the house.
Copper Beardy gets one because he didn't get one, I think, yesterday is why. So, Rory, so glad you're here remotely. I miss your voice. Oh. Let me show you something else, guys. What is it? Windows XM, is that right? Yeah, Device Manager. Huh. Having one of my Stream Decks is turning off and returning on. You might be able to hear the USB connections. Fidika is out there. Nice to see you as well. Okay, hold on. Serial bus controllers. I had problems because I just have like, I want to say hundreds, but I have like some big power consumers plugged into my USB, and I've got the power supplies plugged in. Like here's one that's totally just empty, but I've got a power supply in it, and I wouldn't think that would be sucking up a lot of power from my machine. But I had to come in here into properties for every single one of these and say, do not allow the computer to turn off this device to save power. Because I was having this, I'd start plugging things in, and things would just be like shutting down, chung, 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 chung. So I went through every single one of these, and every single one of these I turned off. I swear I did, and yet I've just had my Stream Deck turn off and then turn back on, cycle power for me, right here. And I'm like, what? And I've got this massive Stream Deck that I bought, the large one with all the buttons. I don't know if I can hold it up or not. Do I have enough cord? Yeah, I do. Look at this. I got this baby in addition to 2 other Stream Decks here. This is for the Dungeons and Dragons and games. So, for example, if I come out to, let's see here, come out to players, and did I turn off Fred here? I did. Let's turn Fred back on. So Fred's back on now. Now with Fred on, I should be able, if everything's working, to come in here and like hit a button here, and we should see Fred move. Fred's not moving. I wonder if that's because we need to do a refresh on the data. Let's go send it out. Let's initialize player data again. How's it going, Fred, is the question. And now that we've initialized the data, can Fred say it's going good? Yeah, there we go. So I can just hit these buttons right here, for example. Like, Fred, who's the most important person on the show? It's the viewer. That's right, Fred. That's right. And who do you love, Fred? Yeah, you like me, don't you, Fred? Yeah, that's right. We're going to write some good code today? Yes. What? No, Fred. Come on. So yeah, we can just push these buttons here and kind of puppeteer Fred in this way, which is kind of fun. So that's one of the things we can do with that Stream Deck. That Stream Deck is coming, shutting down and restarting, but it's okay now. Back to where we were. I wanted to show you Melf's minute meteors. So with the changes that I made with those after the show, all the other code that we wrote just falls into place, essentially working. We still have problems with the spells. We'll kind of get to that in a second. But so now if I start casting Melf's minute meteors, still an audio delay. Yeah, Rory, I'm sorry about that. I don't know a great answer to that problem. I've got, I can't answer that without complaining, and I'm not going to do that. We're just going to be like, I'm sorry, kids. Let's at least look up and verify that we're doing the streaming preview. Yeah, so we're in the Logitech streaming preview right there, frame rate. Let's do one other thing. Let's just check it out. Logitech, or say, what is it? Logi, what's it called? Capture, I think is what it's called. Logi Capture, sync issue, audio, video. Yeah, my Stream Deck's coming in up and
moment, the most popular ones are made by
Make me wait 6 minutes?
go to YouTube and search for which webcam to buy. Sound is recorded in a third application. Then when I have to put it inside an editing program afterwards, it gets out of sync, which is really annoying when you have a really fancy webcam that is supposedly the best webcam out there.
Fair.
So how do we fix this issue of getting it synced after it has become out of sync, and what is actually causing the issue? Well, the simple explanation is the fact that when you do actually record, let's say, your face cam using a webcam, and it doesn't process fast enough because maybe there is some bottleneck with your computer or maybe something else, then the processing gets done a little bit too late, and the video gets delayed into the recording.
Yeah, it's slow.
Lose a little bit of
Are you just gonna, what are you gonna give me? I need to do it for live streaming.
gets screwed up along the way. So here comes the big question. How do we fix out of sync videos?
Okay, I just want to point out the guy has asked this question twice in the last 30 seconds and he has not answered it yet. And is he really going to just synchronize them later? Because that's not what I want. I don't want that. Should probably put streaming in here, see if we can find something. With a new tool. Okay, hold on. Audio delay. There's an audio delay setting. Let's see if we can find this. OBS audio delay setting. Maybe that's going to help us. Setting an audio delay in OBS. Sweet. See what we get here, kids. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Okay. Let's go find that. Headset mic. There it is right there. And what is it? Advanced audio properties or properties? No. What do I have to hit? Okay, there it is. It's in advanced audio properties. Okay, so let's bring that up. Forrest Bug says, man, I so want to do a D&D game working on space game. I'm so bored. Well, let me tell you something, buddy. Forrest Bug. My experience, I've been working on this D&D game, I think, on the show, I think for almost a year. And I am just starting to wrap my head around the complexity of it. Part of it is the rules there's so many rules out there that you really need to be represented only in code. Let's bring up audio property here. Sync offset. There it is right there. Headset mic. What do we got in milliseconds? I'm going to take it by about 150 milliseconds and click on close. All right, so now let's go full screen so you can see my lips. And I will go to our live stream as well, and I'll listen to it and see how that works. Screen so you can see my lips. I will go. What do we think? I will go. What do we think? I think it's pretty good. That looks pretty good to me. Is that better out there, kids? Jetsam says much better. Okay. All right, so we've established you're watching me in the past, kids, but at least we fixed that. Okay, good. Thanks everybody for the feedback on that, by the way. Abandon 1334. So it's okay now as well. Good to have you out here with us. Abandon. Rory, it's so, by the way, refreshing to know that you're out there to save me in some fashion, just in this moment right now. So cool. Abandon 1334 is now following. I'm going to DM you afterwards. Look for a whisper on Twitch with instructions for how you can download a copy of CodeRushed. I am almost at 1,000 followers, and between now and 1,000, we're going to give away copy CodeRushed to everybody who follows. So we're like something like 25 copies away from that goal. you know, the autism makes it so that I'm not a big, magic numbers are not magic numbers to me, but they're magic numbers to other people. And Jeff Fritz said that once I get to 1,000 followers, he's going to recommend me for MVP status again, which I had before until I was a bad boy, and Microsoft said no, and then now I'm going to come back again, and it's going to be awesome because Microsoft's going to be like, oh, he's back. We thought we got rid of him. Jetsam says, I think you had a couple more follows too. Yeah. So everybody who's following, I will go out and DM you afterwards. Yeah, we've got keeping track of this account is followed. Forest Bug followed. Thanks for the follow, Forest Bug. Unreal BSI is followed. The Teleketo is followed. S1UX666 is followed. John Galloway followed. Run in the Wise is followed. So all of you, I'm going to reach out to you afterwards, and we'll do that. So now, I keep like teasing this, but check this out. So now if we click on Melf's Minute Meteors, we do that. What's wrong here? Why didn't that work like I expected it to? Let's go back. Oh, I see why. Because I need to switch here to Merkin and now click on it. And now it says, how many meters do you want to send? So the rules say when you cast Melf's Minute Meteors, you can send immediately 1, 2, or 0 as part of that action. So we have built in, if we go over into the spell rules for it, the spell right here, we built in that logic in basically these bits of code right here. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the rules of Dungeons & Dragons, turning them into code, essentially C# code in a spreadsheet next to the spell. And in some cases, a spell might have 2 different casting abilities, right? As in this case, Melf's Minute Meteors is kind of complicated in that it is a spell that lasts, and as long as it lasts, it gives me a bonus action that allows me to cast any number of meteors in my bonus action turn. So in our app over here, we've got the ability to cast as an action Melf's Minute Meteors. Here's this first piece. I can say 0. And now when I do that, the action goes away because the spell is cast. And now down here, we have the bonus action version of it, which is this one right down here. And it's available when the Melf meteor count is greater than 0. And so now I can come in here, click on this, and say, how many meteors do I want to send? 1 or 2. And if I just close this, it'll be 0 and nothing will really change. But if I come in and do it again, and I say, well, let's say I want to do 2, notice it says 6 available. That 6 available is coming from right here, this bit of code right here, right? There. It's actually pretty freaking sweet that I can, right next to my my spell in the spreadsheet, I can put the code that defines that spell. And I'm working with variables that are defined right here in the code. There's nothing that says Melf meteor count anywhere in my code. So what happens is our expression evaluator sees this and says, oh, I know, I'm going to put that in the player, and the player is going to hold on to that. So the player now stores its meteor count, which means if I have multiple players, they can all have Melf's meteor, and they all independently will track how many are left and remaining. So if I say none, I can keep hitting this. If I close this, there's still 6 available. If I come in and say 2, okay, cool. If I come in again, they're available because I haven't attacked yet. Once I attack, I've sent 2. It changes the damage to 4d6 fire, even though it says 2d6 here, because it's the spell. And I said I wanted to throw 2 of the fireballs out. So we've sent those out. And now the next time I come in here as a bonus action to click this, it's going to say there are only 4 available. Now, you'll notice around me, the spell effect is running, right? It's still running here. Let's go take another 2 out, and we'll roll it. Damage 14. You know what I just realized I want to do? I want to have 2 different colored dice here, because this is actually 2 different attacks. I need to have an indicator. I'm just going to write a note here for myself that I need an indicator. I need a die stir indicator for multiple targets. So kind of like the idea is here. I might say 2D6 fire, and then say target equals 1 or something like that. And then another one that says target equals 2. And so we'll have different colored dice there for the two different targets, for example. That's cool. So we can have the spell do that in the future. If we come back up here again, we have 2 more available. Let's just take 1 out of it. So now we enroll it. So now it's just got 2 dice coming over. So shot another meteor out right there. And one more time. Now it doesn't have to answer the question because there's only 1 meteor remaining. So when I click it now, nothing happens, but it's ready to go. And when I click on attack, there's our final. And look what happened. Bonus action, it's gone. And now I can cast the spell again. And the spell effects are gone around me. You're seeing a little bit in the back, but that's from another spell that that needs to be fixed. So all of that worked once I made that one minor change yesterday. I think it was essentially it. There's maybe 1 or 2 other changes I had to do. Actually, that's not true. There was one other thing I had to do, and that is when the spell is dispelled. So let me show you one other thing. Here, when I call dispel, because we're out of meteors on it, right? It was failing to take it out of my alarms because the spell lasts 10 minutes. But now it's cleaning that up too. I fixed that too. It was a minor fix, and that's all cleaned up. The code for all of this, by the way, I checked in this morning, and it's right here. Episode 176 begin, right there. So there's the code for all of that. Now, the problem, so what do we still have? Well, we have this thing called spell effects, and we have this thing called weapon effects. They're brought into the same class, which I call item effect. I divided these into 2 different groups because I wanted to think of them as 2 different things when I'm maintaining them. Also, well, I don't know. So we have some issues there. Now, the weapon effects are working pretty well, with one exception actually, and that every weapon is showing the magic on it. When I click on dagger, for example, it comes up and it has the magic effect. You can see the dagger right there. When I switch over to Ava and I say, hey, let's use your battle axe, it's got full-on magic on it, and yet the battle axe that she owns is not magical. So we're showing all the effects there, and we need to fix that. Well, sex positive.
Sex positive is in the house.
Pyrocat is with us, and so is Sex Positive. Welcome to both of you. Pyrocat, I've been working on your fanfare slowly, and I'm getting closer to it being done. So glad you're with us, Pyrocat. There's going to be a lot of pyrotechnics in yours when it finally releases. Sex Positive, how you doing? The last time I saw you was a few minutes ago downstairs. Sex Positive is my wife, Karen. I'm not sure why you guys typed in R4, though. Not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I sense the boss is about. Hey, Sex Positive, hope you're doing well, says Copperbeardy. Yeah, I think she's doing well. I saw her this morning. Pyrocat says, I look forward to it, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be over the top. I think Janiscu 7's on my list, too, in terms of folks that I want to do. Fedaica, that's a real world. Well, Ben is talking to Fedaica. Their real world application. If you do graphics, you need to process a grid of pixels. You already process them. Makes a huge difference that a lot of devs don't realize. Wait, what are we talking about here? Scrolling up. I got to scroll up. I missed something up above. Streaming performance improvement development on C# apps. What do you think? Is FedEx asking about that? Thinking about streaming performance improvement development. Yeah, I think that's great. And I will tell you, the absolute key to significant performance gains, and it's hard to show this, to instruct this, to test this, but it's to completely change what you're doing. So you do significantly less work. So that's kind of what's going on. Sex Positive's got a drone out there flying. Look at that. I've never seen. Oh, that's what the R4 is for. Gotcha, Sex Positive. You're flying around. Where is PyroCat's fanfare? It's in development. It's in development. By the way, Sex Positive is, my wife is writing a book. Not about programming, but she's in the middle of that. And based on some of her blog posts out at dangersnacks.com. If you are a, kind of a, I'll throw that out there. That's her website out there if you want to take a look at that. If you're a feminist or you got a feminist in the house, you might throw them out there. I am actually, I'd call myself absolutely a feminist as well. And she's got some great insight. One of the things I love about Karen is she has atypical ways of thinking about things. In fact, often she can come up with a controversial point of view and totally justify it. And everybody's like, whoa. So we got a couple problems with the weapons. The weapons do go away though. If I pick another weapon, like for example my javelin, this one will go away. Boom, like that. And now I've got my javelin. I pick my greatsword, like that. But the effects on these, the weapon effects, are all being used, and partially because this effect available when is not being evaluated. I kind of feel like let's work on this problem first. See if we can solve this. Uses magic, this roll is true. Let's see if we can solve that. That's actually not too hard of a problem to solve, I think, I hope. So let's actually go back to here. Let's hide the scroll so we can see more of the code. Let's drag this out of the way. Okay, so the item effect, let's go look at that. Item effect class is here. Spell effects is here. So we've got all the spell effects here for item effect. And we're going to find all our weapon effects here as well, the weapon effects. So here, get all for weapon name. Whoa. I like these clouds.
In the house.
Jetsum's in the house. Welcome, Jetsum. You were here before, but I think we just passed the 24-hour mark, and now all of a sudden we were allowed to show yours. I wonder if we'll see Michael Jolly's too if he says something soon. Interesting. Okay, so here's where we collect the weapon effects and we add the wind-up effects to it. What I want to do is I want to see if it's available. Is what I want to do. And this is happening when? Let's just see when this is happening. I want this to happen like, So it's happening here in the wind-ups. All right, so I think we're going to have to transfer some data, is what I think we're going to have to do. Let's set a breakpoint. And the data we're going to have to transfer over is this effect available when. I think we're going to have to move this over to our wind-up DTO. And then from our wind-up DTO, we're going to need to evaluate it later because I don't want to evaluate it at the beginning. I want to evaluate it when the weapon is brought up. That's what I want to do. So, so let's set a breakpoint there. Let's see if we can trigger that breakpoint by clicking on initialize player data. Do we get out here? I'd like to see us stop there. There we go. Sweet. So let's see what we can do. I'm stopped. I'm hitting Shift Enter and nothing is happening. I'm hitting Enter and nothing is happening. What's going on? Now Enter works. Weird for a moment. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to see what else do we got in item effect. Effect available when. That's what I want. Okay, and then I want to come over here. Let's declare it. I think I'm okay with that. In the windup DTO, let's fix it in clone. Okay, so we've got clone taken care of as well. Let's see where, let's just tab the next reference on these properties. Okay, that's only there in the windup DTO. Synchronize with windup data in the TS. I don't have to, this part I don't need to send over. I don't need to worry about that for the windup DTO. But at some point, so this is the windup DTO we send down to TypeScript. Fadiga says, it's just an idea. I don't know if people would watch it. Yeah, I think people would. Yeah, Copperbeardy just referred to Trump Mom, which is one of, I think, one of Karen's posts out there, talking about momming that president. I don't know if people would watch it either, but I tell you, the thing that, in my experience, the biggest gains can happen from creatively rethinking the problem and doing less work. That's really how you solve really big, hard performance problems, is you cleverly do less work up front. I've done this, I think I've had like 2 big experiences where I radically solved the amount of time it took to do something. And in both cases, I came up with clever ways of doing everything we thought we had to do at the beginning, later, on demand kind of thing, or both on demand and in the background. It's absolutely the way to solve the problem. The problem is that rethinking is a hard thing to demonstrate in a way that everybody else kind of, can use it in a practical way. So regular perf issues is certainly something you want to take a look at. And there are all kinds of ways that you can solve incrementally and teach those. But the rethinking is kind of a hard thing to think, a hard thing to teach, I think. Maybe we should consider converting to functional, like F#. A lot of perf issues can be solved by immutability directly and indirectly, Will Bennett says. I don't know F#, but nice to learn. Yeah, I also don't know it, and maybe someday I'll learn it. I think it certainly looks interesting and contained. I like it. Okay, so vect available when we have that now on the windup. Let's see if we can find our way back to where we were using that. It's going to be somewhere in here in main window. Let's see if we can just find the windup DTO. Okay, here we go. And we are serializing them here. I think clone windups, this is where we should do our work. And I think I want to call it, I'm going to actually shut down the app and I'm going to rename it because I want to rename this. I want to rename this to get available windups is what I want to do. And let's go inside here. And then what I want to do here is I want to say, hey, if expressions.getBool windup dot effect available when, then we're going to add it. We're going to clone it and add it. And let's double check that this is going to be okay with an expression. We do the evaluation here. Yeah, so we're not doing anything that's checking to see if this is null or not, or empty or not. So what I want to do is, let's go back to where we were. And let's do this. If effect available when, let's actually say is null or white space. And if it's not that, or wait, let's do this instead. If it's that or that. And for kids who are watching me use CodeRushed on this and you're not sure what's going on in here in Visual Studio, I got the string reference by typing in T for type reference and S for string, and then I put a dot in it right after it, like that. So TS and then the space bar or the tab, whatever your expansion key is. And then right over here, I just typed in OR and space bar, and it gives me this. So it's just much faster way to type.
Bennett is in the house.
It's that 24-hour delay. Yeah, get ready for yours, Michael Jolly, as well, if you say anything. So let's see here. So if we're null, then we're going to clone it. Otherwise, we're going to check to see if we are true, if this expression is true. In which case, then we're going to add it. And get available windups is called here. All right, so now let's run it. Gosh, is it that simple? Okay, if I could go back to work and lurk. Work and lurk. Sex positive's been so quiet. I suspect it's not sex positive, but one of the kids on her phone or other device. All right, so let's see here. Initialize player data. Let's actually, I think I want to set a breakpoint right in here. I think we're going to find some other things maybe aren't set. Whoops. We can run this. I should actually set a breakpoint there just to verify that we're getting some data there.
Good question.
Hugo leaps out of the shadows and into the murky waters. Welcome, Hugo. What's the question here? Jetsam, that's the combo he's using right now. Is CodeRushed? Yes, it is. 2019 compatible. Yeah, I'm running it in 2019 as well. It's totally works there. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, did I...
Working.
And actually, let's switch to Ava. Close down or scroll. Let's grab out the battle axe. Okay, so let's see what's happening in here. So we got some windups. And what's our effect available is null here. Okay. So we're cloning that one. What's this one? Oh, it uses magic this roll. Okay, so that's going to come out. I want to set a breakpoint over here to here. Pretty sure. Let's set a breakpoint here and run. And uses magic this roll. Sweet. Do we have it as a field? We do. What's the value? Wow. Non-static field requires a target. The player is null. Ah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I need to pass in the player, which means get available windups. Let's shut everything down because I need to change some parameters here. Where's the player? Player's here. And do I have the spell at this point? No. This is all, the spell is in this block, and here I don't have the spell. So I just have that. All right, so we'll use CodeRushed to add that parameter. Paste that in. And get available windups. And now we've got the player. And get bool player, pass in there. We might be passing in other things later as well if we have context that depends on the spell or something along those lines. But most of the context, all the context we have so far depends only on the player. All right, run one more time. Get a little closer.
Lady McLovenuts.
Lady McLovenuts. Okay, what do I got here? We don't need the breakpoint now. Speaking of performance, I introduced a performance problem when I introduced the expression evaluation, and I believe all these expressions are being evaluated when we start up.
Bushwhacker.
So I need to go hunt that down. Let's close it. Sorry, close that. And switch to the battle axe. Okay. And let's go inside again. First one, we're expecting this to be null. There it is. Second one, we're expecting this to be uses magic this roll equals true. And now I want to go over, where do I want to be? Here, set a breakpoint here one more time. Okay, now we're in. Yeah, we got the field. Player's not null. What's our valuation? It's false. Player's not using it. Good. That makes sense. And good. There's my evaluate variable, which means we're getting out of here as well with a big fat false, and we're not adding it. Excellent. Let me just run. Sweet. Look at that. Now, the next one, though, to see if it, so that kind of looks like it fixed it, but what about greatsword? Because Ava's greatsword is magical. Let's look at this a second here. How do we know that's magical? I think it's in my player data. There's Ava right there. There it is. She's got a greatsword, which has no name on it, but we could give it a name in the quotes there. It's got +1 on it, so that means it's magical. And, oh, check it out. Look at this. It uses the player hue, but the magic is in 270. That should be, we're not using this yet, but we got to figure that out and find it because we want to impact that. So let's switch to greatsword and see if it works. I don't think it's going to work. We'll see if it does. Well, let's step in and we'll see what happens here. Effect available win is going to be, this is null, first one, so that's that. The second one uses magic is true. We did not add it. So that means that player, the property uses magic this roll, which is way down. Use magic this roll is false. We need to set it to true. Is what we need to do. Let's get out of here and see what we can find here. Do we have a weapon? Does the shortcut have a weapon property? It does not. Uses magic false. So partially the problem is here in the shortcut. This should be set to true. I think that's part of our problem. Sounds like I have double music playing. Where's that second one? No, it seems like it's okay now. All right, let's run a second. Let's see if we can fix some of the data. So we need to go look at where the data is being loaded. And we have in here something, I think we have our all items folder. And in there we've got all weapons. And this is where we open the weapons up. But that's not right. It is in all action shortcuts. We add weapon shortcuts for. So here's where we add the weapon shortcuts, where we get the weapon effects from the weapon name.
Is on fire.
What's going on here? I thought Mark was honey don'ts, like don't blow up the house, don't dangle the kids from the Grand Canyon. Did you forget your honeydews again? I feel like I've got two musics playing right here. Let's turn it off. I just turned it off. And it's still going? I'm going to refresh the drone game, kids. You're about to lose your drones for a second here. Weird. And it's refreshed. There it is right there. Try one more time there. Genre off. Let's get some music again. We are droned. All right. So now so add weapon shortcuts 4. Weapon right here, does it have the data I need? Yeah, it's got some hues. I think it does. This is going to be so sweet if this data is already here for us. Okay. So carried weapon, I want to do this. I'm going to have to shut it down again. I want to come in and I want to say, I want to do something like this. So I just copy this to the clipboard. I come down here and type in FE for each, and it's going to give me that right there. That's CodeRushed. And then I want to say player action shortcut dot weapon equals, not weapon properties, that. And now I'm going to declare it. Sweet. Okay, so now I've got the weapon in there. And that's awesome. And then I want to go refer to that. I think that's the only thing I need to do here. And I can start running it. I can refer to it later when it's time to add the wind-up effects.
Lady McLovenuts.
Initialize the data.
Fucking Ava.
Okay, so if we do, let's see, do I have a breakpoint at the right spot? Freebird, says Hugo. Someone's not a fan of Skinnerd. Nice. Let's see what we want to do here. Get available windups. Do I want to? I think I am going to have to shut this down. Sorry, kids. I think I need... Oh, shoot. I did not need to it's inside of Action Shortcut. I didn't need to shut it down. I did not. Because we've got weapon in here, right? Somewhere. I'm going to just explicitly set this to null. Right here. I like to do that. All right, let's run it one more time. Won't you fly high, Freebird? Yeah. The stream's looking pretty good, kids. Initializing player data. I think we need more flowers. Different types of flowers in here.
Ava.
Okay, here comes Greatsword. All right, so now we're here. do something here. Hold on a second. Just want to count through the for each as we go through. And then I want to say if weapon is not null, hold on, I want to pull this out. And this is my windup. Oops. Yeah, let's call it item. I'm going to throw it up here. If weapon is not null, then I want to do a couple things here. I want to say wait. What's going on here? Whoa, I went to item view model. I don't want that. Do I have two weapon classes in this? That would be tough. Is it my weapon DTO? No, where was I? I was just in a weapon kind of place. Let's look only at classes. So here what I did is I typed the control key, tapped the control key to get my options up here for this. Here, let me close down, hide the scroll. Oh, because I'm in a breakpoint, it's not going to hide. Okay, I get it. Let me just run it. Sorry. Okay, hold on. Yeah, it looks like my weapon is the wrong type here. Carried weapon, dot weapon, that's a type weapon. And it's here. That's not what I wanted, is it? No. I think I'm attaching the wrong piece. Carried weapon is what I wanted. Okay, so hold on a second. This is what I want right here. I just want this. And I want this to be of type carried weapon. Now I'm happier. Okay, good. Okay. Then we can come down here and we can check to see what our index is, because what I'm doing inside of the data right here is when I specify a weapon, I get to also specify its name in parens as the first parameter. And then the second, third, and fourth parameters are going to be the hues for the weapon, the magic effect 1, magic effect 2, and magic effect 3, up to 3 hues. So, and those are going to be in the windups as they're declared. So what that means then is if we go over into weapons, is it weapon effects? Sorry. So like the battle axe has got a magic 1 and a magic 2 effect on it for the battle axe, and up to 3. The warhammer's got 3. So there's the warhammer, and then it's got a handle and a front head and a back head magic effect. So I can have up to 3 different hues. The hue can be the player, or it can be a specified number of the hue shift. And these all start at red, which means they'll rotate to that hue. Red is hue 0. So Jetsam says sunflowers perhaps. Yeah, I got it. Sunflowers are on my list. They're on my list. A little tricky to do, but they're on my list. Okay, so if carried weapon. No, I think what I want to do is this. I want to say set hue from stir, and I want to pass in the item, and then I want to say hue 1, like that. Did I do this right? Hold on. Where do I set this? Am I setting this anywhere? Here we go. So the first parameter, this is where I process the parameters inside of, I think it was on players. I process these parameters here. Parameter 1 is the name. Okay, here we go. Got a comment right here. Magic Hue 1, Magic Hue 2, Magic Hue 3. So I don't have an option for, yeah, I want to change this. Oh no, it is right here. It's weapon hue followed by magic hue 1, 2, and 3. So does that mean we are not? Yeah, we need to, I'm going to stop again. Hold on. Let's go get to hit damage bonus. Let's change, let's. Cool. I want to do weapon hue here. And we're going to kind of change all of this up here. We're going to say that's equal to that. And then 3, whoops, 4, and 5. It's a 24-hour wait, Codebase Alpha. That's why your fanfare played. Wait, we got a handicapped cow out there. Hey, handicapped cow. Handicapped cow. Handicapped cow. Are you related to Legendary Moo? Oh, look what Jetson put out there. I didn't even see it. Hugo Doll and I want to see those. Nice. Why not a switch case statement here? Yeah, why not? I like it. Do I have a coders feature? Conditional to switch. Boom. That easy. Okay. Also should be switch to conditional, so we can turn it back. So CodeRushed is cool in that, yeah, handicapped cow says cool. So, hit damage bonus. Hues, 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 all the way down. All right, cool. So now, over here, so case 0, this is the weapon color. So this is going to be the weapon hue, like that. I'm going to duplicate this, and we're going to change that to a 1, and we're going to change this to hue 1. And I'm going to duplicate that and go, oh, check it out. New cool feature here. So check this out. There's a little bit of an underline here. You can't quite see it here. If I hit enter on it, I think we'll see it. Is that right? So check it out. There's an underline there. And this is because duplicate line automatically replaced hue with weapon. I can come in here, right click this and say stop replacing hue with weapon in this file. And then it changes to that. And then we're like, okay, cool. So change that to 2, duplicate it again one more time. And now look at that. It's figuring out, okay, you want it to be 3, like that. So kind of cool. And now we're going to come in and we're going to declare this method. And we're going to say, we'll call this hue stir. And we're going to say, hey, if hue stir is equal to player, like that. If that's the case, let's trim it for as well. Okay, if it's equal to player, then we're going to say, oh shoot, we need to add another parameter in here, and that's the player. So let's do this. Add parameter, player. This is CodeRushed as well, if you've never seen this before. Player, like that. Like that. And now we've got player up here. Then we're going to say item dot hue equals player dot hue. Shift, hue shift, like that. And is item hue a number, an int? It is. Okay, cool. And then we're going to say, let's do this. Like that. And then I want to come down here and I want to say if int.tryParse this out into result. Then we're going to say item.hue is equal to result. And I think that's all we need to do right there. Set hue from. Why do I have an underline here? What's going on here? Oh, missing a paren. Like that. Duck Dodgers is my favorite. Yeah, Will Bennett says, didn't realize it was caped. Here I am reading in reverse, kids. Codebase, let's try to go forward. I just bought the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie. Viewing for this evening sorted. And then Will Bennett saying, oh, did not realize Handy Caped Cow was caped. Must be related to Codeman Codes then. Duck Dodgers is my favorite. I'm not recalling Duck Dodgers from the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie. Maybe I have not seen that. All right, so we've got these three pieces here. There's something else we need to do too. Let's run it. And are we in the middle of edit and continue? Is that what we're doing? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like we're starting up.
Leave it, love nuts.
Okay, so let's initialize player data. Will, are the fireballs working? Did it work? Wait, back up the train. Of course I know what Duck Dodgers is. Of course I know. Secretly typing in duck. Yeah, it does. It looks like the fireball's working. Cool. Duck Dodgers. What do I got? I think I need to see this. What? It's like a whole series? Holy cow. That's awesome. Like Buck Rogers. Super cool. Okay, let's see. Ava. Let's bring up her greatsword. What do we got here? Tell me I got some interesting data here. That's what I'm looking for. Cool. So that should come in here and set the the item hue to the hue shift. Whoa, it looks like it's already at 210. Huh. I wonder if I'm setting that already. Interesting. Okay. And then now we go to, are we going to get another one or no? This one is not going to happen. Uses magic this roll because the players uses magic this roll property is set to false. That's down, way down here. That's false. So that's all we're going to get. It's going to be shifted to slightly blue. Not a big deal for that one right there. We need to set that, and I think we can do that in here. If spell is not null, so we're handling the spell there. Otherwise, we're handling it. We're assuming it's a weapon, but it could be something else too. And I want to set a breakpoint there. Let's switch to battle axe. Go ahead and run it. Go ahead and run that. Uh-oh. That's a great CodeRushed template there. INX, if null, then exit. And also you can use INR. And it takes whatever's on the clipboard and just compares it with null and then returns. So INR right there. So we do that. Edit and continue seems to need a little extra nudging here to get it to recompile. There we go. Okay, now switching to greatsword. And now what I want to do here is I want to say if action shortcut dot carried weapon is not null, then I want to say player dot uses magic this role is equal to action shortcut dot carried weapon dot hit damage bonus is greater than 0. Okay. Are we checking this anywhere else? We're setting it anywhere else? Creature will attack, uses magic. Where are we calling that from? We're setting it false there. Shortcut uses magic. Is will attack called before? Here's what I want to know. Sweet. And it's called before. So what we really need to do is really change uses magic. We need something similar to this, but we need to change this elsewhere. When we create the player action shortcut from the weapon, so it's going to look like this right here. Dot uses magic, better place to put this, is equal to carried weapon like that. So let's run it. So nothing this time, but now if we reload the data and we redefine all those shortcuts, and we switch and we try to bring up our greatsword. Let's just run it and see what happens. No magic! Ah! Why not? Is uses magic true? Uses magic is false. Hold on. Get available windups. Are we not getting this on the... let's run it. Oh wait, not here. Sorry, not this one. Let's see. Are we getting here when I let's reload the data. Okay, we are getting here. are we getting here? Let's clear this. One more time. Initialize the data. Okay, we are getting here. So that's the dagger of warning. Okay. Hold on, let's set a breakpoint here. Maybe here. Run it. Okay, here we go. +1. What's going on here with our +1? Hit damage bonus. So the first one is 0, and that's the name. So it's empty string. Next one is +1. Hit damage bonus is 1. Okay. This is the carried weapons of the character. Okay, hold on. Is this data used elsewhere? It's used here. Let's see what happens here. Do I get to this breakpoint next? I just hit run. Okay, cool, I do. So now we've got carried weapons here. What are these weapons here? Short sword. So this looks like it's not Ava. Let's set a breakpoint here and we'll wait till we get to Ava. Let's bring our watches up here. Do I have a player.name? There it is right there. This is Willie. Okay. Let's clear those. All right, so run again, Merkin, here's Ava. Set breakpoint here, run. Carried weapons, what you got, Ava? You got a great sword in there. Hit damage bonus is 0. Hit damage bonus is 0, 0, 0. How did that happen? I'm going to just run it. For a second. So try initializing the data one more time. Wow, I didn't get a hit damage bonus of 1. I just thought we saw this actually work. Oh, wait. Oh, look what I'm doing. It's just really bad code. So I have a temp variable, but I never assign the temp variable. Instead, I do this. That's resetting it to 0. That's what's happening. So let's clear that out. That should result in better code. Hit damage bonus, we don't need this up here anymore because we're assigning it directly here. Yeah, it's like this code was written, I started one idea and ended with a different idea. I think that's I just want to kind of run it and see how we're doing this time. I'm going to reinitialize the data one more time. So it gets a chance to reload that. Switch to Ava. Yes! Yes! And look at the color. right? That's what we're talking about. Nice. Sweet. Okay, so now what's cool about that is we're getting the effects right from here, right from the player data. So these are the weapons the player carries, +1. We've got the magic effect on here that's working. That also means that in weapons effect, uses magic, this roll is now working for that, which means we choose another one that doesn't have magic, there's no effect on it, right? But if we wanted to, let's just demonstrate how easy that is now to change. If we come in here, let's go to Lady for a second. So we switch to Lady. Lady, oh, we don't have any weapons for Lady. Longsword and Warhammer are both listed. Uh-oh. But I got nothing, no effects showing up here. I mean, no shortcuts are showing up for Lady. I got a new bug. Well, let's go figure that out. Longsword and Warhammer. That's really interesting. The data looks good there. Let's go figure out why Lady doesn't have any shortcuts. Add shortcuts for player. That's kind of where we're going to play with. Start with at least. Go back. Initialize player data. And let's set a conditional breakpoint in here. Or, well, I don't know. What are we going to do here? Bring our watch window up. That's Willie, Shimo, Merkin, Ava, Old Fred, Lady. Here's Lady. What's your carried weapons? 2. You got 2 weapons. A longsword and a warhammer, right? Whoops, that's the second one. I guess the first one is the warhammer. Wait. They're both longsword? No, there we go. I just didn't click the second one. Okay. So there's that. Let's go step inside. And I know I got that scroll up there and we can't get rid of the scroll. Bear with me a second. Carried weapons. So we're going to add a weapon shortcut 4. Why aren't we adding any shortcuts here is the question. Weapon effects are 0. Oh. I have no weapon effects for these. And when there's no weapon effect, we add no shortcuts. But I really want to add this is a different kind of bug. Let's do 2 things. Let's run it. And let's hide the scroll so we can see some code. And let's go look at the weapon effects. Is it that I didn't export this? Is that my problem? Nope, I got longsword and warhammer in there. Is it case sensitive? I think it's case sensitive is my problem. I bet that's totally the problem. Hold on a second. Let's try this. All right, warhammer effects. Reload the data.
Merkin, Ava, Lady McLovenuts.
Yeah, that's it. So now we've got this in. This is also very cool because we're using the rules of Dungeons and Dragons to realize that you've got both a one-handed and a two-handed attack on the longsword as well as the warhammer. So let's go into the warhammer here. There's Lady's warhammer right there. It's got 3 different effects on it. So if we want to turn that into a magic warhammer, notice the button now just says warhammer one-handed on it. But if we come into our players and we say in our warhammer, we come in and we put parens after it, we can now give it a name, like Super Ham, like that. We can then start saying what we want for the colors to be on this. And I said that everything starts at red, but this is kind of green. So if we do any kind of hue shifts, it's starting at green. This should actually be at red. That'll probably be something I fix. But if we want to say, let's switch it over like by green, move it over into blue, would probably be about 120 to the right. So we'll hue shift it 120 to the right. And then we have our magic effects on here. Oh, wait, we've got our +1 on here too. So we'll say a +1 on here for the warhammer, 120 to the right. We'll just stop it there, like that. So now she's got the super ham. We'll go in and we'll download that. Reload the data. Reloading the data.
Bushwhacker. Ava Wolfhard.
And now, if we look at it, we see the buttons are called Super Ham. And when we click on a one-handed Super Ham, got a problem with the data. So the magic effects are not adjusting to where the hammer is. That's okay. We haven't tested that yet, so we're doing it. That is, the problem is here, the move up down. We're moving the weapon down 150 pixels, but we're not doing the same with the others. So we do that. That should fix that problem. Oh, but the color shift is wrong. Wait, the hammer color shifted, but the magic did not. I think I don't want this in here at all. Okay. Okay, data's down. Let's reload. I have to investigate why the color shift's not happening. I see the color shift on the hammer. It's definitely kind of a greener, bluer tint.
Shaker. Lady McLovenuts.
Okay, and let's do, click on Super Ham. All right, they're lined up, but the colors are not right. And we're seeing all 3 of these. Uses magic this roll. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But there could be different levels on this. Why aren't they not color shifting? They totally should be color shifting. Let's do this. Just selected the weapon, the other weapon. Hue is 120 there. Hue is null. Let's go look at my data. Should make an agile commercial. Are we getting here? Are we getting here? Switch to sprint 2. I feel like you said this already. Why am I just now picking this up? Oh, yeah, I only have the one. It's my, the problem is not with the code. The problem is with the data. All right, clear the breakpoint, run it. Let's hide the scroll. And now let's change the colors of the hue. So let's say we want to make all of these in the player color. Like that. Her player color is kind of an orangish color. So we're going to see barely a change here. We'll go ahead and make this 220 and this one 330. So we'll see the handle will come up as her player color. Let's also take this first 120 and bump it up even more to 180. Make it even bluer. So here we go. Players. And let's reload the data. And
Willie Shaker. Lady McLovenuts.
And let's bring up the Super Ham weapon. And there you go. It's not bad. The I'm noticing that the magic on the handle has kind of got this boom right there. Boom. It's got a kind of a hard reset. It's not smooth. Now we need to fix that. But that's kind of cool. All right, let's change it back to regular Warhammer. Whoops. And put that out there. Okay, so that's super cool. I just hit attack and nothing happened. Why am I on the wrong page? Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. Switch back over to where I got dice. I might do this for now as well. Whoops. All right, so that's pretty good. We've now got those effects like we want them to be.
Ava.
Ava's the only one with a magic weapon so far in our campaign. But now we bring up the battle axe, we bring up the javelin, and we bring up the greatsword. And it's all working like it was working before. But now it's entirely data-driven, which is nice. Before, this used to be all done in code. And it's totally flexible, which means as players level up and they get more weapons or magical things, it's so much easier to make changes. Let's go figure out why weapons, if I don't have any effect defined for it, are not appearing as shortcut buttons. Because I want to be able to create those. It's not like we need to find out why we need to fix it. Because we saw that code. We were staring right out at that. Something like add. Oops, let's close down the scroll. Add shortcuts, I think. Yeah, so we've got this issue here. And I think we want to basically say, hey, look, if, set a breakpoint, get to it. If weapon effects dot count equals 0, then we want to basically get out of there and we want to just create Yeah, I think we need something like I think we only need that right there. All right. Those two space indents are triggering me AF. Pudding's out there. JOO strikers out there. Two spaces. Well, the good thing about the two spaces is that more code gets on screen. And, you know, I feel your pain. I feel your pain whenever I'm looking at 4 spaces. I'm with you. Yeah, puddings. What's poggies mean? Pudding, do I remember correctly? You're from, are you from Peru? Am I remembering that correctly? What is poggies? Yeah, Peruvian. Are you in Peru? Uh-oh. That scares me. I get so scared. Okay. Let's see what we got here. From carried weapon is there. Let's see. Return results. Want to do that. And we got some opportunities to consolidate code because there's some things happening here. You think not in Peru at the moment? Oh, Poggy's an expression used to celebrate something done well, at least as far as I understand it. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's see what we got here. Set DTO from effect, so we won't have any of that. That call won't be there. Oh, look at this. Why am I not using weapon name? Wait, oh, weapon effect dot name. I bet these are always the same. Hold on. Or maybe not, carried weapon dot name. That's the name of the weapon if it has one. Okay, hold on. I almost can call the same. So this carried weapon dot name is going to be dagger or scimitar or warhammer. Those are going to be standard names, D&D names. In fact, I'm feeling so strongly about it, I'm going to shut everything down for a second. I'm going to rename this to standard name like this. So I'm going to do that. And okay, good. Now I want to go back into from item weapon effect. So all weapons.get weapon effect.name. So hold on. This really should be the standard name, is what this should be. And it should not be weapon effect.name. So I think it's going to look like that, which means now we don't need this from carried weapon anymore. We can kill that. And we should be able to come back here and do this line instead, passing null for the item effect. I'm not colorblind. I've got full tetrachromat vision. So, J.O. Striker says, I want this code, all of it. I'll pay whatever it takes. It's going to be, your payment is in the form of a click. There it is right there. The piece you don't get access to are the assets. So the code's all there, but the assets are not, because I've licensed a number of these assets and I do not have rights to redistribute the images. So that sort of thing. But all the code that we built in all of these episodes, 176 of them, is out here in the Mr. Announcer Bot piece right out here. That's what's going on there. I don't think that's the first time that somebody said, I'll pay whatever it takes. And I'm like, here it is for free. Hopefully Sex Positive's not still with us. Thanks, I love you. You're welcome, J.O. Striker. Good luck with it. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're back over here, passing in null. And actually, I look at this. I really think I just want to pass in a carried weapon as well. I want to try to kind of rename this, I think. Do I have a from weapon? And I think I really just want to pass in the weapon, carried weapon here is what I want to do. Yeah, that's what I think I want to do. Let's do this. Let's go in here, add parameter, carried weapon, carried weapon. Carried weapon is coming in here like this, right? It's in scope. Then I want to get rid of these others. So from weapon is there. Now we're going to say standard name. So here I'm changing the behavior, but this should still work. Let's duplicate the line, comment this one out as a reference. Dot weapon dot standard name. Good. That should work. And the other piece was the weapon name. Where am I using that? Okay, now what we want to do here is say weapon.name. Okay. And that should kill these two parameters. And so now we can come in and say remove unused parameter and remove unused parameter. And now we've got the from weapon. The only other thing I want to do is if the weapon effect is null, we're going to do nothing on this. So let's change this and say do that INX or INR template there. If effect is null, then return. Anywhere else? Are we using spell effect anywhere else in here? No? Oh, we're right here. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, why did I... I see what I did. Okay, hold on. We're using weapon effect anywhere else. Just there. Okay. So that should fix this problem where we're not generating shortcuts for where we don't have weapon effects. So now if we run this now, we should see weapon effects, we should see shortcuts for the other weapons that people have, that they're carrying with them. We go over to players, whip, for example. We should see Fred have a whip, Ava should have a net, Shimo should have a, well, Shimo's not playing right now. Let's go see what's happening here. Let's initialize that data. Got a lunch date with my wife today. Probably we'll end the show by 12:30 at the latest, maybe sooner. All right, cool. Here we are here. The carried weapon is a short bow. Exactly what we're expecting. So let's run it. Now switch to Ava. Cool, we got the net. Anything else? All right, so that problem is solved. Let's go to Lady. Lady's only got those. Fred, there's the whip right there. So Fred's got the whip he can use. So very cool. If I click it, sweet, look at that. I clicked on whip and went right to 1d4 plus 3 slashing. So awesome, right? Everything is awesome in here. It's using all the data that's out here in the spreadsheets, right? Including for our weapons. On our weapons table, where is it? There it is. And out here on the whip, 1d4 slashing, one-handed. So it knows what's going on there. That's nice. Okay. We have the same problem with spells. If a spell doesn't have any effects, we're out of here. And that's somewhere else in here as well. Let's drop that down. Add weapon shortcuts 4, add spell shortcuts. So here's the problem. We have the same problem here. This is just insane every time I look at it. Is the D&D tool inside your pot? Yes, it is. So pudding, here's what's happening. I got a show that we're going to start up soon out at twitch.tv/dragonhumpers. And I'll just click that and bring it up there. You can see kind of what's out there. Sorry, what? Oh, I put a dot at the end of it. Sorry about that, kids. Let's do it without the dot. There it is, right there. And so this is the show that we're working on here. And with the characters, that sort of thing. Not live yet, but when it's live, the pieces you're seeing me develop here on this show are going to be in that show for the Dungeons and Dragons. They're going to be controlled remotely from this app as well as from one of these giant stream decks here, which allow me to switch out the players. For example, let's go switch to me. Oh, why did that work? Am I at a breakpoint? I don't know why that's not working. I might need a refresh. Oh, I might need to send the player data out. That might be it. Let's send the player data out, see if that solves it. Yeah. I got a couple of these streaming boards out here. What's really cool is this stream deck. This stream deck is also in the hands of our dungeon master. So our dungeon master can hit the same buttons to make this whole thing all work. It looks like I need to do a refresh here on the overlays. Let me do a refresh on these because I want to verify. I'm going to refresh my dice page, the dragon back overlay, refresh. Let me show you a little bit of what it's going to look like. Let's turn off the top monitor. Or actually, we'll keep the top monitor on, but I'm going to show you the backgrounds here. So this is the background right here. We initialize the player data. Let's do that. We've got a Dungeons & Dragons clock right over here, which is tracking Dungeons & Dragons time in real time. Let's clear the breakpoint for now here. There's the D&D clock. spell effects, all of that is working. And looks like the dice game. Wait, you mapped it to the bot commands? Kind of. So hold on a second. Why did the dice not get initialized? Let's try one more time. Initialize player data. Dice is not being initialized. Looks like it needs a refresh on the dice. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. So there. Now, you're missing a couple things here. One of them is our Dungeon Master frame, and our Dungeon Master shows up there. The other players show up across here. It's actually kind of a crazy, complicated stream because we've got individual players, we've got individual effects on the players. We've got also, you're not seeing it now, but there's a map of the game board that's a live video coming across as well. That shows up somewhere above here in the back, in the middle. You should sell this when you finish, says Jow7. Says Jow Striker. Yeah. Pudding was asking, do I map it to the bot commands? Yeah. So let's see if these work now. Can I now change? There we go. So now I can come in here, change to Bushwhacker, come in and hit the action, say, let's do Melf's Minute Meteors. Is that going to work? There it is. So I've got the spell up and ready to cast. I can maybe switch to Chaos Bolt as well. Is Chaos Bolt working? Chaos Bolt switch isn't working. Could be that something needs to change on these. Oh, I know why. Whoops. Chaos Bolt isn't working because I'm at a breakpoint here. And it looks like somehow we've switched over to the flumps as well. So there's all kinds of effects and things going on here. One of my favorites is me doing a Wild Magic D20 check. If this thing comes out and turns out to be a 1, we were showing this before, but this is super fun. Might take a while to get to the 1 roll. Just be awesome if we hit it though. So that's my Wild Magic roll. If that's a 1, then Wild Magic goes. Oh, it's close. Yeah. So I think the show is going to be fun. This is a little bit about what it's going to look like here. We'll be able to come in and say, hey, let's do an intimidation check. So I'll come in here, right click on intimidation, say, let's roll that skill check. See that coming out there. There's the skill check. Let's do another Wild Magic bonus roll because it's a 20. Our DM says if you roll a 20 on a skill check, you get a second roll. So it's possible to get a 40, nat 20. Got a +6 on that intimidation. So yeah, kind of cool stuff. Let me do some damage dice, show you some of those effects. These are old, but they're really super fun. Here's some necrotic damage. Rolling out, what is that, 2d8 and 1d6 right there with necrotic damage. So the damage type is on there. Here's acid damage, right? Depending on what your spell is or what your magic is on there. Kind of cool stuff. The clock shows up above the Dungeon Master when I normally do that, when we do that show. What else? Let's do another Wild Magic check. Trying to get that 1 to show up. Close. Yeah, look at this insanity. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I think it's going to be fun. So we're going to go live in a little bit, I think about a month we'll go live, maybe a couple weeks. Just right now, we just want to get a little more practice time with all the players. And 1, oh, most of 1. Okay, now I see what you're making this force bug. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. The cool thing is all of these effects, they're all data driven from the spreadsheet, right? They're data driven and rules almost a 1. There's something super cool that happens when I get it to a 1. Oh! Watch the screen change. It's a Wild Magic roll, kids. Am I at a breakpoint? Oh, interesting. No worries. and then it goes away, and then it's time to do a magic, a wild magic roll, which looks something like this. And then some effect occurs.
Cast mirror image.
So cool. That's kind of what we're dealing with. Let's go back to the code here. Let's give you a little bit of a preview of what we're, where we're going here. Get rid of the background. Close the scroll. And then back over in my breakpoint. I want to get to that breakpoint I was at before. Yeah, the cool thing is the Dungeon Master also has a Stream Deck. So the Dungeon Master can run the effects remotely. And we're essentially just using Twitch chat on essentially a private location to control the game. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Way too loud as well. Oh, Geostriker, thanks for that feedback. I'm going to write that down and we'll check the volumes on all those pieces. Too loud. And if there's anything too loud about what we're doing now, let me know as well. Unreal BSL says that it was awesome. Unreal BSL, glad to have you with us as well. The one roll. The one roll is too loud. Okay. We'll check that. Yeah. Yeah, kind of cool. So we still have this problem. The problem I said I wanted to fix here. I think I'm not going to fix this yet. I'm still going to, reserve some time to think about it. Where these effects are not going away when they should, for certain kinds of spells. One of these looks like it's Melf's Meteors. Let's see if it is. If I add in 10 minutes to here, will that go away? No, I don't think it did. I think it's that was Firebolt. Okay, so let's go in, and here's where I want my breakpoint. Let's trigger the breakpoint. And I want to do the same thing. What? Am I not? Here we go. Now I'm here. I wanted something here that says basically, look, hey, if a spell effects dot count equals 0, then I want to do this. Else will come down there. And here I want something that looks like this. And don't I have a from spell here already? No. All right. I'm going to pass in null here, but I want to send in the known spell dot spell name. I think it's what I want to do. Because the item effect has the same name. What we're doing the same, we have the same problem here. Spell effect dot name, we're using the spell effect name, and I really want to use the spell name instead. What else are we doing with spell effect in here? And yeah, just there for the name. And here, we're already checking to see if it's null and returning. So we're good there. Whoops, whoops, whoops. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. So we would need to change this. I'm going to kill the app because we want to change the parameters here. And let's add a new parameter. And it's going to be a spell name, like this. And here I'm going to call this a known spell dot spell name. Pass that in there and there. Sweet. I think we got some funk going here on the music. Sounds a little funky. Okay, and then spell name, we're going to use this here. And so now spell effect should only be used down there. Sweet. That means spells that don't have effects defined for them yet, we're going to now load them up here. So let's set a breakpoint there just to see what we're loading and run it again. Yeah, definitely a funk vibe. Let's turn off the Dungeon Master clouds here. Turn off the frame, turn off the clouds. Yep. Okay, here comes the player data. Yeah. So I designed a really cool D&D map spec. But did not implement it. I might implement it in the future. What's the spell name here? Dancing Lights. Sweet. Mage Hand. Sweet. So we're getting a bunch of these coming in that we didn't have before. Nice. So now when we come up here and we go to like Willy, we should see all of those. Dancing Lights. Sweet. So we've got these spells. Even though they don't do anything yet, there are no spell effects, they can still cast them. And if they have any kind of dice stir, we should see it down here. Any damage? Any of these magic missile? There you go. Okay, magic missile comes up at 0d4 plus 1. So we need to target. So we need to add some code for this. So not bad. All right. I'll tell you what, kids. I'm feeling, yeah, the map-based thing. I wonder if I can bring that up. Let me see if I can find that out here. Is it this one? Give me a second. Take a look at this. Yeah. So I kind of had this app in mind. This is where I started speccing this out. And I kind of like this, but basically the idea is when you're in combat, your combat order shows up here. Combat, by the way, the DM has one button to hit, just enter combat, and then automatically rolls initiative. Understands some players have advantage on initiative. Like you see 2 of the maroon colored dice up there for Willy. Willy's got advantage and solves that, right? All of that's done. But I wanted each player to see it and to see the map. And then I wanted to be able to specify what your moves and actions were going to be in order, and then trigger those one at a time. Yeah, so this spec I think is really sweet, including the ability to like click on like an enemy and then choose what kind of attacks you want to use right there. So the players would queue up their actions even when it wasn't their turn, and then when it was their turn, they would just click the execute button. Boom, boom, boom. So they'd say, I want to move over here, I want to run this attack, then I want to run over here, do this attack. It would track movement, so limiting you to your 30 feet or whatever you've got for your player, all of that. That may be something we build here. This may be something we build. And then the DM would also have the ability as well, like to run attacks. So the red dragon could do bite, fire breath, or talon, and you could drag attacks to targets, select targets, that sort of thing. The other cool thing about this was the ability to set up area of effect spells, as well as walls that had danger on one side, area, that sort of thing. Walls that moved and spun around at different angles. So all of this was something that we wanted to do. But we realized, oh, you know what? We can start the show a lot faster if we don't build this, because everything else is essentially done. So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to start the show first, and we'll do the mapping later. And I think with that, let's go send you guys off to somewhere else. I still have that lingering spell problem, but I think I want to reserve some time and think about that before we go, before we do that. Holy cow, we got a lot of live coders out there right now. Ooh, Dev Intersection's out there. I might send you guys to Dev Intersection. They're talking to John Papa and Dan Whalen right now. Yeah, let's do that. Let's send you over to Dev Intersection. We'll raid them. I think Jeff Fritz is out there with them as well. Would it get skinned in some sort of procedural way? Yeah, not only would it get skinned, they're talking about the mapping, I think, right? But the answer is it would also be audio, the equivalent layer, audio layering as well would be there. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and raid. Here goes we'll start the dev intersection out there. Say hi to C# Fritz and John Papa out there, Dan Whalen as well. And we'll talk to you guys later. I'm glad to have you with us today, and we will see you on Tuesday. All right.